Okay, so in the morning session, with several disruptions, we have discussed or we have refreshed our memory on LKAS 23 borrowing cost, right? So we have discussed what are the key requirements and what does this standard talks about. So now with this session, I will take you some of the past paper questions, right? The areas which has been tested from LKS 23 in your exams. So I have here 2018 past paper, right? 2018 question number 5, right? 2018 question number 5 is from LKS 23, right? So this is also a standard, right? So what I told was LKS 23 borrowing cost standard has been frequently tested in your exams for around 10 to 12 marks. In certain years, it has been tested for 14 marks, right? හැම අවුරුද්දම ලකුණු 10කට 12කට ප්‍රශ්න අහන ඇහෙන තැනක් තමයි LKS 23 standard එක. Therefore, we should have a thorough understanding of the standard. See here, 2018 question number 5, part 1. What does it ask? What is mean by qualifying assets as per LKS 23 borrowing cost? As per this standard, what do we mean by qualifying assets? Qualifying assets, we know borrowing costs associated with qualifying assets, we can capitalize. All other borrowing costs need to be expense. So what are the qualifying? What do we mean by qualifying assets here? Qualifying assets with this term, right? What comes to our mind? What are qualifying assets? You know, qualifying assets assets that takes or that necessarily takes a substantial period. Right, so we go here. So qualifying assets are what? Assets that necessarily takes a substantial period of time to get ready for its intended use. Right, management එක මොකක් හරි asset එකක් යාළගේ ඔළුවේ තියෙනවා මේ විදියට තමයි අපි මේක පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ, right? This is how we are going to use this asset. So if to convert that asset into such position, right, if it takes substantial period of time, such assets we can identify as qualifying assets, right? If I say it again, qualifying assets are assets that necessarily takes a substantial period of time to get ready for its intended use, right? In your slide also, right, it has clearly mentioned here, a qualifying asset is an asset that necessarily takes a substantial period of time. This is the most, right, crucial term here, substantial period of time to get ready for its intended use. So that should be the answer for part 1. Part 2, what it does, explain accounting treatment. So what is the accounting treatment? Borrowing costs that are associated with acquisition, construction, or production of a qualifying asset need to be capitalized. All other borrowing costs need to be expensed. So that is the accounting treatment, right? Qualifying asset එකට අදාළ වෙයි qualifying asset එකක් acquire කරගන්න හරි construct කරන්න හරි නැත්නම් ඒක produce කරන්න හරි නම් borrowing cost එක අදාළ වෙන්නේ ඒ වගේ borrowing cost we can capitalize as a part of the asset, and all other borrowing costs we need to expense, right? Here, accounting treatment. Here, this is the accounting treatment, right? In slide number 3, borrowing costs that are directly attributable to the acquisition, construction, or production of a qualifying asset form part of the cost of the asset, or we can capitalize it, and all other borrowing costs are recognized as an expense in the P&L. So that should be the accounting treatment. Right. Part 3, what it says. What are the conditions should be satisfied to commence capitalization? Right. අපිට කවද ඉඳන්ද borrowing cost එක capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ? Right? From which date? කවද ඉඳන්ද? Or what are the conditions that need to be satisfied in order to commence the capitalization of borrowing cost? Conditions we have discussed, there are 3 conditions that need to be met, right? What are those? Yeah, these are the 3 conditions that need to be met. It incurs, it means the borrowing cost incurs, right? Sorry, it incurs expenditure for the assets. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි building construction of a building නම් අපේ qualifying asset එක. අපි building එකක් නම් අපේ qualifying asset එක වෙන්නේ we should incur expenditure for the asset. එහෙනම් ඒ building එක build up කරන්න අපි expense දරලා තියෙන්න ඕන. Right? It incurs borrowing cost. Right? That is the second condition. අපි interest එකක් අපි ගෙවන්න ඕන. Right? ගෙවන්න පටන් ගන්න තියෙන්න ඕන. It undertakes activities that are necessary to prepare the asset for its intended use or sale. Right? අදාළ වත්කම වෙනුවෙන් වියදම් දරන්න පටන් ගන්න තියෙන්න ඕන. Right? Borrowing cost එක incur වෙන්න පටන් ගන්න තියෙන්න ඕන. සහ අදාළ වත්කම හා සම්බන්ධ right? So the connection යාට දෙකෙන් දෙකට යනවා මම හිතන්නේ. Right. So these are the 3 conditions that need to be met in order to start or commence the capitalization process of borrowing cost. Borrowing cost අපිට මේ days තුනම satisfy වෙන්නේ කවද්ද? මේ දේවල් තුනම satisfy වෙන්නේ කවද්ද? එදා ඉඳන් තමයි අපිට capitalize කරන්න පටන් ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. Right? The 3 conditions. And then in part 4 it has been tested as on calculations, right? We need to, some informations have been given and we need to calculate the borrowing cost that need to be capitalized based on this information and the cost of the building. So the qualifying asset here is the building. So we need to calculate the cost of that and the interest should be recognized in, right? So how can we work out this example or this question? Part 4. Part 4 වල මොනවද කියන්නේ? First we need to map this in order to get a clear understanding, right? See here, the management of a firm decided to build a building for their store, right? They are going to build a building. Construction activities of the building were handed over to a construction firm, right? The company on its own not going to construct this building. They are going to hand it over to a construction firm. On 15th July 2017, having paid, right, this much 3 million, right, 3 million rupees from their own fund, right? From their own fund, they have paid 3 million on this date, 15th July 2017, for a construction firm in order to start the construction of a building. So we can map these data, right? On 15th July 2017, this is 17, yes, 15th July 2017, right? We hand over construction. Right? Handed over to a construction firm on this date, having paid 3 million from their own fund. This much of amount has been paid, right? 3 million. That is what is here. Then The construction firm had started construction work on 15th July 2017 itself. Construction එක බාර දෙන්නෙත් මෙදා, right? බාර දුන්න දවසේම, right? They commence, right? Contract එක බාර දෙන දවසේම building එකේ වැඩ පටන් ගන්නවා construction firm එකේ. Right. They commence activities on this same date. Then what it says, the firm had to take bank loan of 20 million rupees at interest rate of 20% per annum from commercial bank on 1st September 2017 for the purpose of further financing the building. අපේ own fund අපි ගාව තිබ්බ fund වලින් තමයි 3 million firm එකට දුන්නේ. හැබැයි building එක හදන්න මේ 3 million මදි. Right? Because of that, we have obtained a bank loan of 20 million. තව අමතර 20 million bank loan එකක් ගන්නවා. Especially for building, especially for the construction of this building. Right? අපේ මේ purpose එකට especially අපි ගන්න මේ 20 million at a rate of 20%. Right. Yeah. On somewhere here, right? On 1st of September 2017, yes, on 1st of September 2017, right? On this date, we obtain a bank loan of 20 million, right? At what is the interest rate? 20% interest rate, right? 120 පොලියට මිලියන 20ක් ගන්නවා, 20 million. Then construction activities of the building were completed on 28th February 2018, right? The construction has completed on this date, 28th February 2018. Right? On 28th February. On 28th February 2018. Right? Completed. The construction has completed. Right? Now we can use this building as the way intended by management. Right. So this is the financial year ends on 31st March 2018. Right? Financial year එක ඉවර වෙන්නේ 31st March 2018. So these are the information given in this part, right? In this para. ඔන්න ඔය information ටික තමයි දෙන්නේ. Right? මෙදා අපි construction firm එකකට building එකක් construct කරන්න අපි contract එක බාර දෙනවා. එදා මෙයාලා වැඩ පටන් ගන්නවා. අපේ own fund වලින් we have paid 3 million. Loan amount here, the firm had to take a bank loan of 20 million. I'm referring this 2018 one, na? Are you okay? This is 2018 question number 5. Here the loan amount is 20 million. It clearly says here, right? The firm had to take bank loan of rupees 20 million. Right. මේ 3 million අපේ own funds වලින් අපි construction firm එකට දීපු එක, right? එදා මෙයාලා වැඩ පටන් ගන්නවා. ඊට පස්සේ මෙදා we have obtained a bank loan, and on this date the construction firm has completed the work of the building, and on this date our financial year ends on 31st March 2018. Right. Now they have given us few more additional informations as well. See what it tells here. 15th September 2017 to 30th September 2017. Delay was required till foundation drying off as per engineer's instruction. Right? We have hold our construction work for 15 days. September 15 ඉඳන් September 30 වෙනකම්. දවස් 15කට අපි construction වැඩ පොඩ්ඩක් නවත්තනවා. Right? We delay our construction works. Why? It was required till foundation drying off as per engineer's instruction. අපි දන්නවා. Right? Foundation එක වේලෙන්න මෙයාලා දවස් 15ක්. Right? So they have delayed the construction for 15 days in order to dry the foundation. So this is what? And read the second point as well. Then you can identify the difference of these two scenarios. Second point, what it says. 1st November 2017 to 30th November 2017. Right? Due to unexpected bad weather condition. දවස් 15ක් මෙතන නවත්තනවා ෆවුන්ඩේෂන් එක dry වෙන්න කියලා. Right? තව මාසයක් අපි වැඩ නවත්තනවා. Why? Due to unexpected bad weather condition. Right? So what we supposed to do here? It says, right? 1st September, sorry, 15 days. මෙන්න මේ වගේ දවස් ටිකක් අපි වැඩ නවත්තනවා. Right? In order to dry. So we are allowing certain time to dry the foundation. The construction firm allowing some time to dry the foundation. And from 1st of November to 30th November for another 1 month, we hold the construction work, right? Due to bad weather condition. Now, when calculating borrowing cost, how can we deal with these two scenarios? May දවස් 15ට අදාළ borrowing cost එක අපි consider කරනවද නැත්නම් අපි ignore කරන්න ඕනද? What we need to do? This 15 days මේක අපි හිතාමතා කරන delay එකක්ද නැත්නම් මේක as part of the construction activity is this required? අපි construction activity එකේ requirement එකක් මත මේක ඕන දෙයක්ද? Right? Here due to bad weather condition. Then so how to determine, is it a part of the active development or not? Right? Right? So the active development term is the important one here. Right? Active development. For these 15 days, අපි active development එක නවත්තනවද? නෑ. ඇයි? මේක construction process එකේම, right? So this is a necessity, right? So this need to be done. Foundation එක වේලෙන්න දෙන්න ඕන. මේ දවස් 15 අපි process එකට consider කරන්න ඕන, right? So this is a period which belongs to the active development. මේ period එකේ active development එකක් වෙනවා. Foundation එක වේලෙන්න යන කාලය, right? We need to consider as a time of active development. But this 30 days or this 1 month period, right? So there has not been any active development. අපි bad weather condition කියලා construction එක නවත්තලා කියන්නේ එතනදී active development එකක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මෙතන නම් foundation එක වේලෙන්නේ. active development එකක් එතන තියෙනවා. But here due to bad weather condition කිව්වොත් එතන active development එකක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. So this period, right? This period we especially need to eliminate when calculating the borrowing cost. එහෙනම් මෙන්න මෙතන, right? This 1 month period, right? This 1 month period we especially need to eliminate, right? When calculating the borrowing costs that need to be capitalized. Right? Okay. So that is on these two parts. Then what it says. Disbursement of loan amount to the construction company appear below. එතකොට 20 million ගන්නව කියලා කියන්නේ, right? 20 million ගන්නව කියලා කියන්නේ අපි building එක වෙනුවෙන් expense කරන්න පටන් ගන්නවා කියන එක නෙවෙයි. Right? If you can remember this one, here. In order to commence the capitalization, these three conditions need to be met, right? It incurs borrowing cost. Hari, loan එක ගත්ත දවසේ ඉඳන් අපි interest එක ගෙවන්න ඕන. එහෙනම් මෙදා ඉඳන් interest එක ගෙවන්න ඕන. Right? On එක condition එකක් satisfy වෙන්නේ මෙදා on 1st September 2017. Then it undertake activities that are necessary to prepare the asset for its intended use or sale. Activities undertake කරනවා අපි contract එක බාර දුන්න දවසේම. Right? Now third condition එක satisfy වෙන්නේ මෙදා. But as soon as on the date which we have obtained the loan, we have not, right? So what I told was, as soon as we obtain the loan, it does not say that we utilize this loan for the asset. අපි loan එක අරගෙන, right? ඒකත් අපි කඩින් කඩ තමයි පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. ඒ පාවිච්චි කරන විදිහයි මෙතන දීලා තියෙන්නේ. Right? See, on 1st of October 2017, we have disbursed 8 million. On 1st of December 2017, we have disbursed another 8 million. And on 15th March, we have disbursed 4 million, right? So that is what it says here. It should incur expenditure for the assets. Loan එක ගන්නවා කියලා කියන්නේ අපි asset එකට expense කරන්න පටන් ගන්නවා කියන එක නෙවෙයි. එහෙනම් ඔය ගත්ත loan එක අපි construction company එකට disperse කරන්නේ කවද්ද? Those dates we need to consider as the dates which we incur expenditure for the assets, right? Okay. So how can we calculate the borrowing cost here, right? So hope it is clear for you, right? So this 20 million, right? This 20 million we have dispersed for the construction as this. මෙදාටයි 14යි. ඔය විදිහට තමයි මේ 20 අපි construction වැඩවලට පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙන්නේ. Right? Okay, on 1st of October 2017, 1st of October 2017, right? 1st of October 2017, we have disbursed or we have incur expense for the asset worth of 8 million, right? 8 million. And what are the other 2 dates? First, right? 1st December 2017. 1st December 2017, another 8 million. And on 15th March 2018, another 4 million. On 15th March 2018, another 4 million. Right? On 1st of October kiwotin somewhere, right? 1st of October kiwotin somewhere here in the මේ වගේ දවසක්. 1st of December කිව්වොතින්, right? මෙදා දවසක්. නොවැම්බර් මාසෙනේ bad weather වලට නවත්තලා තියෙන්නේ. 1st of December කිව්වොතින් here. And 15th March. 15th March කිව්වොතින් අපි complete කරාට පස්සේ somewhere here. Right? Right? වෙනස් colors තුනකින් mark කරේ අපි loan එක disperse කරපු dates. Loan එක utilize කරපු දවස්. Right. Here, so we know in order to capitalize the borrowing cost, right, 3 conditions need to be met. This is, right, these 2 conditions have met on, right, these 2 separate dates. Now මේ තුනම මේ conditions තුනම satisfy වෙන දවස් ඉඳන් තමයි borrowing cost එක අපිට capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? So from this date, we have expensed this much of amount. Now may 8 million api in a condition, right? This first condition, it incurs expenditure for the asset, right? We have incurred 8 million on from this date onwards, 1st of October 2017. Right. Interest rate is what? Interest rate is 20%. Kama bank cooking kan interest rate එක වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. 20%. So for how many months we can capitalize this 8 million? මේ 8 million එකට අදාළ interest එක නැත්නම් borrowing cost එක අපිට මාස කීයක් capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? Right? Hope you can remember this. මේ conditions තුනම satisfy වෙන දවසේ ඉඳන් right අපේ active development එක නවත්තන දවස වෙනකම් ඔය මාස ගාන අපිට capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා කිව්වේ. Right? From the date where we right. So it means for how many months? For how many months? Here from this date up to how many from this date to which date we need to consider, right? This means here it is 1st of October 2017. අපි මෙදානේ loan එකෙන් 8 million පාවිච්චි කරන්න ගන්නේ 1st of October 2017. එහෙනම් මෙදා ඉඳන් මාස කීයක borrowing cost එක අපිට capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? මාස කීයක borrowing cost එක capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? Right? From 1st of October 2017 to what is the date we need to consider? February 28 වෙනකන් ඒ තිබ්බ මාස ගානද අපි consider කරන්න ඕන නැත්නම් up to 31st March 2018 that period එකද? From which, right? So the starting date now we know 1st of October 2017. මෙදා තමයි අපි activities පටන් අරගෙනත් තියෙනවා. Right? Borrowing cost incur වෙන්න පටන් අරන් තියෙනවා. Right? And we have incur the expenditure for the assets. අපි asset එකට අදාළ වියදම් දරන්න පටන් ගන්නෙත් මෙදා. එහෙනම් මේ තුනම satisfy වෙන්නේ මෙදා ඉඳන් 1st of October 2017. ඒ 20 million ම නෙවෙයි, only 8 million. නම් මේ 8 million වලට අදාළ borrowing cost එක අපිට capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන්. මම අහන්නේ අපිට කොච්චර මාස ගානකට අදාළ borrowing cost එකද capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ? For how many months? For how many months? From which date to which date? From 1st of October 2017 to the date which we have completed the active development up to 28th February 2018. So how many months are there in between? October, November, December, January, February. 5 months. Right? But here we especially need to exclude this period. Why? Because for this 1 month period there was no any active development. Bad weather condition එක නිසා අපි නොවැම්බර් මාසෙ මුකුත් operations කරේ නැහැ. Construction වැඩ කරේ නැහැ. Active development එක අපි suspend කරලා තිබ්බේ. එහෙනම් ඒ මාසෙට අදාළ borrowing cost එක අපිට capitalize කරන්න බෑ. එහෙනම් මෙදා ඉඳන් මෙදා වෙනකම් මාස 5ක් තිබ්බත් මේ මාසෙට අදාළ amount එක අපි capitalize කරන්නේ නැහැ. Therefore we need to exclude that month. ඒ මාසෙ අපි especially exclude කරන්න ඕන. Right? So it means what? 4. Right? එහෙනම් මේ 8 million වලට අදාළ මාස 4ක borrowing cost එක විතරයි අපිට capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. Right? So what should be the amount? Amount to be capitalized. What? 8 million වලින් 8 million, what is the interest rate? At 20% for how many months? 4 months. It means 4 over 12. Right? Million අටට 120 ගානේ මාස 4කට. එහෙනම් අපිට capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන් මෙන්න මෙච්චර amount එක. Right? 533,333. Right. So that is in terms of this. මෙදා මෙච්චරක් expense කරා. ඒ expense එකට අදාළව මෙන්න මෙච්චර amount එකක් we can capitalize. Then further it says on 1st of December 2017, on this date, 1st of December 2017, අර bad weather condition එකට මාසයක් නැමැත්තුවා ඊට පස්සේ නොවැම්බර් මාසෙ නැමැත්තුවා දෙසැම්බර් පළවෙනිදා ආයේ 8 million අපි construction firm එකට දීලා තියෙනවා. අපි ගත්ත loan වලින් 8 million අපි ආයේ වියදම් කරලා තියෙනවා for the construction work, right, on this date. එහෙනම් මෙදා ගත්ත එක අපි මාස කීයකට, right, අදාළ borrowing cost එක අපිට capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? Right, for how many months? On 1st of December 2017 මෙදා තව 8 million utilize කරනවා. එහෙනම් මේ මෙදා දෙසැම්බර් පළවෙනිදා utilize කරන 8 million වලින් මාස කීයක පොලිය අපිට asset එකේ part එකක් විදියට capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? For how many months? From 1st of December 2017 to 28th February 2018. How many months? 3 months. Like in the previous case, do we need to deduct one? මේ මාසය අපි අයින් කරන්න ඕනද? මෙතන නම් එහෙමනේ කරේ. right? මෙදා ඉඳන් මෙදා වෙනකම් මාස 5ක් තිබ්බා. bad weather condition එක නිසා active development එක මාසයක් නැවතිලා තිබ්බා. ඒ මාසෙ අපි අයින් කරා. ඒ මාසෙ borrowing cost එක capitalize කරේ නැහැ. Here, do we need to exclude this 1 month? මෙතනදී අපි මේ 1 month period එක exclude කරන්න ඕනද? නැහැ. Why? We are considering from this date onwards. අපි 1st of December 2017 ඉදයි consider කරන්නේ. එතකොට මේ දේ වෙලා ඉවරයි, right? So we are moving forward. So 3 months. Borrowing cost associated with 3 months of this amount we need to capitalize. Means how much? Into 3/12, right? 400,000. 400,000, right? Then, if you're unclear, let me know. Query අපහැදිලි තැනක් තියෙනවා නම් කියන්න. Right, එහෙනම් ඔක්තෝබර් 10 ගත්ත එකෙන් 10 ගත්ත මේ 8 million වලට අදාළ borrowing cost එකේ මෙන්න මෙච්චර amount එකක් අපිට capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right, from the amount we incur on 1st of December 2017, or from this 8 million, we can capitalize the borrowing cost amounting to 400,000. And further it says on this date, we have disbursed another 4 million. Minna meda, right? Minna meda api tava million hatarak disburse කරනවා. අපි ගත්ත loan එකෙන් අපි තව million 4ක් construction වැඩ වලට වියදම් කරනවා. On 15th March 2018. මේ million 4ට අදාළ මාස කීයක interest එක අපිට capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? Right? For how many months? For how many months we can capitalize the borrowing cost associated with this 4 million? මාස කීයකට පුළුවන්ද? See here, we have completed the construction, or the construction company has completed the construction activities on this date, 28th February 2018. And we have disbursed this amount on this date, 15th March 2018, which is a later date. After the completion, we have disbursed this much of amount. Construction වැඩ ඉවරුණාට පස්සේ තමයි මේ 4 million අපි utilize කරන්නේ. නැත්නම් අපි disburse කරන්නේ. එතකොට, right? So we are not going to consider the interest or the borrowing cost associated with such amounts as a part of the asset. එතකොට ඒ වගේ අපි borrowing cost එක capitalize කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඇයි? Complete උනාට පස්සේ අපි expense කරා කියලා ඒ expense කරපු ඒ වගේ borrowing cost එක we are not allowed to capitalize, right? නම් හැමතිස්සෙම අපි බලන්නේ see the basic මෙන්න මේ conditions තුන satisfy වෙන්නේ කවද්ද, right? when we are satisfying all these three conditions. පළවෙනි situation එකේදී නම් මොකක්ද උනේ? Right, commencement activities පටන් ගත්තා. We have undertaken activities, we have incurred borrowing cost, and on this date we have incurred the expenditure for the assets. Right, here is also the same from this day to this date, but here after the completion, whatever the amount we have expensed in order with respect to the asset or the qualifying asset, right, we are not allowed to capitalize any amount, zero. Therefore, the total amount we can capitalize is this much, right, 933,333 rupees. So this should be the answer for part A, right? For part A, the answer is rupees 933,333. නොච්චරක amount එකක් අපිට capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ P&L එකට අරන් යන්න නැතුව asset එකට එකතු කරලා, right, asset value asset එකක් විදියට අපිට අරන් එන්න පුළුවන්. asset එකේ value එක වැඩි කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right. Then in part B, what they ask? In part B, what they ask? Cost of the building. Now, what is the cost of the building? Building එකේ cost එක කීයද? As of 31st March 2018. මෙදා වෙද්දී අපේ cost එකේ building එක කීයද? Sorry. Building එකේ cost එක කීයද? Right? What should be the amount? What should be the amount? What? Here. Right? As on the same date where we handing over this construction to the construction, right? We have incurred 3 million. And apart from that, what? Apart from that, what? Right? On 1st of October 2017, bank loan එකක් ගන්නවා කියලා කියනකොට ඒක asset එකට සම්බන්ධ නැහැ. එතකොට මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? What is the double entry? What's the double entry? Cash account debit, bank loan, the liability account credit. Right? It is not form a part of the asset. But when we are utilizing that loan amount for the construction work, then it form a part of the asset. Right? So on 1st of October 2017, we utilize 8 million. ඒක අපේ asset එකේ part එකක් වෙනවා. Right? On 1st of December 2017, we utilize another 8 million. That form a part of the asset. And on 15th March 2018, we incur another 4 million. Altogether 20 million there. Right? So this is what we have incurred. Borrowing cost කියලා standard එකක් තිබ්බේ නැත්නම් LKAS 23 කියලා standard එකක් තිබ්බේ නැත්නම්, right, this is the cost of our building. එහෙම standard එකක් තිබ්බේ නැත්නම් මේක තමයි building එකේ cost එක, right? As per LKAS 23, we need to capitalize the associated borrowing cost. LKAS 23 standard එකේ කියනවා අපිට borrowing cost එක capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන් if it satisfies certain conditions. We have computed that amount. අපිට capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන් amount එක අපි calc කරගෙන තියෙන්නේ. That is 933,333. Therefore, this form a part of the assets, right? So 23,933,333 is the cost of our building. එතකොට building එකේ cost එක 23 million නෙවෙයි. මෙන්න මේ 933,333 කියන figure එකත් එකතු වෙලා, right? This should be the cost of the building as of 31st March 2018. Right? Balance sheet එකේ building එකේ cost කියලා පෙන්නන්න පුළුවන් අපිට amount පෙන්නන්න පුළුවන් නැත්නම් පෙන්නන්න ඕන amount එක මේක. Right? Borrowing cost. ඉන්න මෙච්චර amount එකක් අපි capitalize කරා. ඒ කියන්නේ asset එකට අපි ඒක amount එක එකතු කරන්න ඕන, එකතු වෙන්න ඕන. Right. Okay. Then in part C, what they ask? Part C වල මොකක්ද අහන්නේ? Interest should be recognized in income statement for the period for 2017-18 financial year. Right? Interest should be recognized in income statement for the period for 2017-18 financial year. 2017-18 financial year එකට අදාළව how much we need to identify as an expense, right? In terms of interest, as interest. Clear? If there was no such standard called LKAS 23, what is the amount we need to identify as an interest expense? මෙහෙම standard එකක් තිබෙන්නේ නැහැ කියන assumption එක අනුව මෙහෙම standard එකක් තිබෙන්නේ නැති වුණා නම් what should be the interest amount that we need to identify as an expense? Clear? 20 million ගන්නවා 20% interest rate. මේකනේ. මෙන්න මෙදා 20 million ගන්නවා at 20% interest rate. For how many months? From 1st of September 2017 to 31st March 2018. Financial year එක ඉවර වෙන්නේ මෙදානේ. එහෙනම් ගත්ත දවසේ ඉඳන් financial year එක ඉවර වෙන දවස වෙනකම්. How many months? How many months? Right? September, October, November, December, January, February, March. For 8 months. Right? For 8 months. Out of the 12 months. 8 over 12. මෙතෙන්දී අපි මෙයාලා වයින් කරනවද? මාසයක් වැස්ස නිසා වැඩ කරගන්න බැරි වුණා. ඒක නිසා අපිට පොලිය ගෙවන්න බෑ. අපි එහෙම අයින් කරනවද? නෑ. Right? So we are liable to pay this much of amount, this much of interest to the bank. Right? බැංකුවට අදාළ නැහැ. අපිට වැස්සද නැද්ද? එයාලට ඒව අදාළ නැහැ. This much of interest. Right? This much of interest we need to pay to the bank. Out of this much of amount we can capitalize. Interest එක අපි කොහොමද බැංකුවට මෙන්න මෙච්චර amount එකක් ගෙවනවා. ඒක ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. හැබැයි අපි මේ සම්පූර්ණ amount එක P&L එකට ගෙන යන්නේ නැතුව, right? P&L එකට debit කරන්නේ නැතුව මෙන්න මෙච්චරක amount එකක් අපි asset එකේ part එකක් විදියට capitalize කරා. ඒකයි අපි asset value එක මෙන්න මෙච්චරක් උනේ. right? ඉතුරු amount එක, right? ඉතුරු amount එක විතරයි අවුරුද්දට අදාළ interest expense එකක් වෙන්නේ. එහෙනම් මොකද වෙන්න ඕනේ? මේ amount එකෙන් we need to deduct 933,333, the capitalized amount, right? Therefore the interest, right? The interest expense that need to be charged to P&L should be this. Is it 8 months? September, October, November, December, January, February, March. Sorry, this is 7 months, not 8 months. 7 months. So this should be the final answer. Right? You know, අපි සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම බැංකුවට ගෙවන interest amount එක මේ 2,333,334. This much of interest we pay to the bank. Out of that, we can capitalize this much of amount as part of our asset. The rest of the amount, or the rest of 1.4 million, we need to expense, or we need to identify as an interest expense for the period. Right? සම්පූර්ණ amount එක අපි expense කරන්නේ නැහැ, because right there we have computed what is the amount that we can capitalize as a part of the asset. Clear? Right? So these type of questions are there in your examinations. තේරුණාද වැඩි? Right? So here, right, here we does not deal with any capitalization. Right? So here we have obtained the loan from only a single bank. bank එකකින් විතරයි. But if we have obtained the required amount from several banks at different interest rate, then the situation is different, right? There we need to apply a weighted average rate, or we call WACC, right? So in our sums, we need to calculate for that weighted average cost. 2018 එකේ තනි බැංකුවකින් අපි කරන් තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට තනි ඉන්ට්‍රෙස්ට් රේට් එකක් තියෙන්නේ. ඒ රේට් එකම තමයි බොරොවින් කොස්ට් එක කැල් කරද්දී අපි පාවිච්චි කරේ. හැබැයි අපි බැංකු කිහිපයකින් අරන් තියෙනවා නම් වෙනස් ඉන්ට්‍රෙස්ට් රේට් වලට, then we need to calculate a weighted average cost. Right. Clear? Right. Okay. So let's do 2017 one as well. Right. So I'm not going to discuss the 2017 in detail. Right. 2017 one. 2017 question number 2. 2017 question number 2. See, in part, right, the accounting treatment of borrowing cost. What is the accounting treatment? There was it. Accounting treatment of borrowing cost here. Borrowing costs that are directly attributable to the acquisition, construction, or production of a qualifying asset. We can capitalize. All other borrowing costs we need to expense, right? In part 2, mention 3 expenses items which can be recognized under borrowing cost. Right? 3 expense items that can be recognized under borrowing cost as per LKAS 23. What are those 3 items? Here, interest expense, lease interest, and exchange differences. Right? The answer for part 2. Right. Here, see the difference compared to the previous question we have discussed. See here, right? Excel Education Private Limited plan to construct a new building. Construct කරනවා building එකක් substantial period එකක් යනවා. එහෙනම් මේක qualifying asset එකක්. එහෙනම් මේ asset එකට අදාළව ගන්න loans, right? නැත්නම් මේ එකට අදාළව ගත්ත loans utilize කරනවා නම්, right, whatever, we can capitalize the associated borrowing cost. For conducting professional accounting courses in addition to external degree courses conducted at the present. Right. Following bank loan facilities were arranged on 1st of June 2016. In the meda, bank loans to arrange karagano for the construction work, and all bank agreed to offer a period of 5 years to settle these loans. Actually, this information, right, is not required to do our sum. Loan එක කොච්චර කාලයකටද කියන එක, right, මේ ගානේදී අපිට එච්චරම වැදගත් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. See here, from People's Bank we have obtained a loan of 5 million at a rate of 18%. From Commercial Bank we have obtained a loan of 3 million at 20%. From HNB another 2 million at 25%. Right? From 3 different banks, 3 different amounts at 3 different interest rates. Right? Calling example again, from commercial we have obtained 20 million at 20%. That's all. But here the situation is different. Right? Further, what it says, construction activities of the building were commenced on 1st of August 2016. Right? Construction activities පටන් ගත්තේ කවද්ද? Commencement date. මෙදා තමයි borrowing cost එක incur වෙන පටන් ගත්තේ. මෙදා තමයි construction activities පටන් ගත්තේ. And what is the other thing we need to know? When we have incurred the expenses for the assets, right? With help of a construction firm. The building was completed and handed over to the Excel Education Private Limited on 31st March 2017. Right? Exactly at the year end date, they have completed the construction work and handed over. The building was ready for use on 1st of April 2017. Almost the same. Details of the payment which were made to construction firm appear below. Now, මෙන්න මේ දවස්වල මෙන්න මේ විදි වලට තමයි අපි asset එක වෙනුවෙන් expenses දාලා තියෙන්නේ. නැත්නම් අපි මේ ගත්ත loans, right? These loans we have dispersed in these days on these particular amounts. On 1st of August, 2 million, 4 million, 2 million, 2 million, like this way. See, total loan amount we have obtained is what? අපි මේ බැංකු තුනෙන්ම ගත්ත total loan amount එක කීයද? 10 million. And here, as per this information, what we have done? We have utilized all these 10 million for our construction work. Right? මේ 10 million ම අපි අපේ වැඩවලට පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙනවා. construction වැඩවලට නැත්නම් qualifying asset එකට අදාළව we have utilized, right? All these, right? And some of the additional informations have been given, right? Construction activities of the building could not be continued due to unexpected weather condition prevailed during the month of January 2017. Unexpected weather condition, නැත්නම් bad weather condition එකක් නිසා ජනවාරි මාසයේ අපි construction එක කරලා නැහැ. It means we have stopped the active development for 1 month. now අපි මොකද්ද කරන්න ඕන? ඒ මාසෙට අදාළ borrowing cost එක we especially need to eliminate when calculating the cost to be capitalized, right? borrowing cost එකෙන් කොච්චරක් capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා බලද්දී මෙන්න මේ ජනවාරි මාසෙට අදාළ borrowing cost එක, right, we need to eliminate, we need to exclude. And then in the second point, Excel Education Private Limited was able to earn interest income of 100,000, having deposited this loan for the period of 2 months from 1st of June to 31st July 2016. Right? Me 10 million invest කරලා, right? interest income එකක් අරගෙන තියෙනවා 100,000. අපි එකපාර මේ 10 million පාවිච්චි කළා නෑනේ, right? From time to time we have used. And an interest income worth of 100,000. So we know how to treat for this. මොකද කරන්න ඕන? Right? Here interest amount එකක් තිබ්බොතින්. See? Here I have discussed investment income එකක් තිබ්බොතින් මොකද කරන්නේ? We need especially to eliminate such investment income in calculating the borrowing cost that need to be capitalized. Capitalize කරන borrowing cost එක calc කරද්දී අපි ඒ වගේ investment income තිබ්බොතින් ඒවත් අපි specially deduct කරන්න ඕන. නැත්නම් අයින් කරලා දාන්න ඕන. Right. We'll quickly go through this sum. Right. First, we need to calculate the weighted average cost of capital. Right. So, as in the previous sum, I'm not going to have this timeline. So it is up to you. Always it is better if you can map the information with the relevant periods. කවද්ද උනේ මොකක්ද උනේ කියන එක time bar එකක් එක්ක map කරන් ගන්නට, right? ඔයාලට එන්න වෙන්න පුළුවන් නම් හොඳයි. Right? So it will provide you a better picture. මොකක්ද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ නැත්නම් ගාන ගැන හොඳ picture එකක් නැත්නම් හොඳ අවබෝධයක් අරගෙන ඔයාලට ගාන කරන්න පුළුවන්. So we'll quickly go through the sum. Part A. In part A, we need to calculate the weighted average cost of capital. Right? Unlike in the previous example, here we have obtained loan amounts from 3 different banks at 3 different interest rates. So we need to calculate the common rate. Rates තුනක් තියෙනවා. එක rate එකක් අපි calculate කරලා ගන්න ඕන. That is the first thing they have asked. Weighted average cost of capital. Oh, bank. Right. So they have 3 banks. One is People's, the other one is Commercial, and HNB. Right? The amounts we have obtained is 5 million. I will have it in rupees 1000, right? 5 million, 3 million, and 2 million. Right? And then rate 18%, 20%, and 25%. So these are the information that we need to calculate the weight, right? We need to assign a weight for these three figures. How can we assign the weight? What is the total loan amount we have obtained? We got the total loan amount here. It is 10 million. Now, out of 10 million, 5 million is from People's Bank. Million 10න් million 5ක් People's Bank. People's Bank එකෙන් ගත්ත මේ loan එකට අදාළව the weight we can assign is 0.5. Right? Like that way, what is the weight we can assign here? Out of the 10 million, 3 million is from commercial bank. Therefore, the respective weight we can assign with respect to the loan obtained by the commercial bank is 0.3. And finally, out of the 10 million, 2 million is from HNB. Therefore, the weight we can assign is 0.2. Right? So that is the first thing we need to do. We need to assign a weight. Then we can calculate the weighted rate. The weighted rate. How? Rate into weight, or weight into rate, whatever. Right? Here, rate is 20%, weight is 0.3, weighted rate is 6. Therefore, what should be the weighted average cost of capital? It is the sum of these weighted rates, that is 20%, right? So the weighted average cost of capital is 20%. That is the first thing we need to do, right? We need to calculate the weighted average cost of capital, right? Rate into weight. First, we need to assign the weight. Then we need to calculate the weighted rate separately, and the summation we can consider as the weighted average cost of capital. Right. Then in part B, we need to calculate the borrowing cost to be capitalized. How much of borrowing cost we can capitalize. Right. Here, what are the dates where we have disbursed these loans obtained? On 1st of August 2016, we have disbursed 2 million. Right? On 1st of December 2016, we have disbursed another 4 million. Right? So I will have the total 4 million. On 1st of February 2017, 1st of February 2017, we have utilized, we have incurred an expense of another 2 million. And finally, on 1st of June 2017, we have, right? So if we consider the first instance, so these are the amounts. If we consider the first amount for how many months here, we have utilized 2 million of the loans we have obtained on 1st of August 2016. For how many months we can capitalize the borrowing cost associated with this 2 million? The 2 million වලට අදාළ borrowing cost එකෙන් මාස කීයක cost එක අපිට capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? For how many months? What is the completion date?
month.
Completion date. Yes. What was the completion date? 31st March 2070. Yes. 31st March 2070. මෙදා තමයි වැඩ complete උනේ. එහෙනම් right? අනිත් අපි දැනගන්න ඕනේ මොනවද? මේ expenditure incur වෙන පටන් ගත්ත දවස්, commencement of activities, අපි construction activities පටන් ගත්තේ කවද්ද කියන එක දැනගන්න ඕන, and borrowing cost. Incur borrowing cost. Borrowing cost එක incur වෙන්න පටන් ගන්න අපි loan එක ගන්න දවසේ ඉඳන්. Loans ගන්න කවද්ද? 1st of June 2016. 1st of June 2016. Right? Activities පටන් ගන්නවා කවද්ද? 1st of June 2016 we obtained these loans. 1st of August 2016. 1st of August 2016. Right? So these are the right. So we need to refer these 3 days. මේ දවස් තුනෙන් අන්තිමට වෙලා තියෙන මොකක්ද? අන්තිම දවස කවද්ද? 1st of August 2016. එහෙනම් එදා ඉඳන් කවද වෙනකන්ද? Until 31st March 2017 වෙනකන්. How many months? From this day to this date, how many months are there? August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 8 months. And we need to see, right? We have halt or we have not continued the construction activities in the month of January, right? We have halt the active development. We have halt the active development in January 2017. මේ පීරියඩ් එක මේ ජනවරි කියන එක මේ පීරියඩ් එකට අදාළයි. එහෙනම් මාසයක් මෙතන අපි වැඩ කරේ නැහැ. එහෙනම් this total 8 months we cannot consider. We can consider only borrowing costs related with how many months? Only 7 months. This month we right. So we need to consider the borrowing cost associated with 7 months with respect to this 2 million. Right. Then, so amount to be capitalized. So with respect to this, what is the amount that we can capitalize? This 2 million into what is the percentage we need to consider now? We have calculated that, right? 20% into 7/12. This much of amount we can capitalize with respect to this 2 million, right? Then on this date, right? On this date, we have utilized another 4 million. On 1st of December 2016, we have utilized another 4 million. Then for how many months? We can capitalize the borrowing cost associated with this 4 million. Me 4 million වලට අදාළ, right? From 1st of December 2016 to 31st March 2017. How many months? මෙදා ඉඳන් මෙදා වෙනකම් මාස කීයද? 4 months. But the month of January falls in between. මේ period එක අතරමැද තමයි මේ January month එක තියෙන්නේ. ඒ මාසෙට අදාළ borrowing cost එක we are not allowed to capitalize, right? Because there has not been any active development for that 1 month period. So we need to exclude that month, right? So we can capitalize the borrowing cost with regards to this 4 million only for 3 months. මේ 4 million වලට අදාළ මාස 3ක borrowing cost එක විතරයි අපිට capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන්.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes. Oh. Yes, you can ask. මොකද්ද ප්‍රශ්නේ?
සර් මේ පළවෙනි එකේ මාස 7ක් යනවද මාස 7ක් යනවද මාස 6 නෙමෙයිද අතන සර් මේ ලෝන් එක මේ
ඔයාලේ පළවෙනි එකේ මාස මෙතන 7ක්ද 6ක් දෙන්නේ කියලාද? 7 නෙවෙයි 6 කියලාද කියන්නේ? right, see here. හරි නේද? අපි ලෝන් එක ගන්නේ right මේ ලෝන් තුනම අපි ගන්න එකම දවසේ 1st of June 2016.
අගෝස්තු මාසේ
construction වල පටන් ගන්න අගෝස්තු මාසේ පළවෙනිද නේද? මේ තියෙන්නේ building work commenced. Construction activities of the building work commenced on 1st of August 2016. 1st of August 2016 වල අපි වැඩ පටන් ගන්නවා. ඊට පස්සේ අපි දැනගන්න ඕන අපි ඔය asset එකට වියදම් දරන්නේ කවද්ද කියලා. 1st August 2016 2 million අපි
ඒක හරි සර්. එතකොට
එන්නේ මට
ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් ඉන්කම් එකක් තියෙනවනේ ලක්ෂයක.
ඔව් ඒක පස්සේ ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් ඉන්කම් එක අපිට කියන්න බෑනේ මේ 2 මිලියන් වලටම කියලා. රයිට්. ඒක අපි කොහොමද අඩු කරන්න ඕන? අපි මෙතනදි මේ ස්ටෙප් එකේදී අඩු කරන්න යන්නේ.
ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් ඉන්කම් එකක් ලක්ෂයක් ගන්න නිසා ඒකේ ජූලි මාසේ ඉඳන් ඒක අපි ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් කරන්නේ. එතකොට ජූලි අගෝස්තු කියලා මාස දෙකක් තියෙනවනේ.
ඔව්. ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් ඉන්කම් එකත් එක්ක මේක පටල ගන්න එපා. right මේ අපි මේ මෙතන අපි කරන්නේ අපි මෙන්න මේ amounts වලින් අපි අපේ construction වැඩවලට utilize කරලා තියෙනවා. එහෙනම් මේ amount එකට අදාළ interest amount එකක් ගෙවනවා. ඒකෙන් මාස කීයක ඒවා අපිට capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන්. මේ 4 million වලින් අපිට මාස කීයක් capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන්. මේ 2 million වලට අදාළ ඒ වගේ මාස කීයක් capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? ඒ විදිහට total amount එක borrowing cost එකෙන් අපිට capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන් total amount එක අපි ගන්න ඕන. From that we can deduct the investment income if there is any. මේ total එකෙන් අපි investment income එකක් තිබ්බොතින් අපිට deduct කරලා ඉතුරු amount එක අඳුන ගන්න පුළුවන් final amount එක විදිහට. right? මෙතන මාස ගන්න තිබ්බ ප්‍රශ්නේ මොකද්ද? Hope this is correct, right? It should be 7 months. August පළවෙනි ඉඳන් 31 March වෙනකම් මාස 8යි. මෙතන ජනවාරි මාසෙ අපිට capitalize කරන්න බෑ. ඒ කියන්නේ මාස 7ක ඒවා විතරයි අපිට capitalize කරන්න
මම ඇහුවා.
ඔව්. මොකද්ද?
හරි සර් හරි.
හරි නේද? ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් ඉන්කම් එක ඒක අපි අන්තිමට ට්‍රීට් කරමු.
හරි සර් මං හිතුවා අර ජූලි මාසේ ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් කරලා තියෙනවනේ මාස දෙකක්.
හරි නේද? ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් ඉන්කම් එක නැත්නම් අපි ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරන එක මේ ස්කෝප් එකෙන් පිට මෙතනින් පිට ඊට පස්සේ අපි වෙනම borrowing cost final amount එක decide කරද්දී ඒ වගේ interest අපි invest කරලා interest income එකක් තිබ්බොතින් අපි ඒක deduct කරනවා. ඒ deduct කරද්දීත් අපි right එතකොටත් අපි අර bank එක loan එක ගෙවනවා වගේ තමයි. අපි invest කරලා තිබ්බනම් අපි මේ මාසෙ මේ construction නැවැත්තුව කියන එක අපිට අදාළ කරගන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. ඒ investment income එක අපි construction එක නැවැත්තුවත් නැතත් අදාළ මාස ටික අපිට ලැබෙනවනේ. right? එතකොට මේ මාසේ මෙහෙම අපි වැඩ නවත්තලා තිබ්බ මේ මාසේ investment income එක අපි ගන්න ඕනේ නැහැ කියලා right we cannot do like that. right හරි නේද? So here what should be the amount that need to be capitalized out of 4 million, right? 20% is the weighted average cost of capital, right? We can capitalize 3 months borrowing cost, 3 over 200,000. And here On 1st of February 2017, we have utilized another.
Sorry.
All right, okay. On 1st of February 2017, they have utilized another 2 million, right? From 1st of February to 31st March, how many months are there? February, March, කියන මාස දෙකක් විතරයි. February and March. This January, do we need to ignore? Do we need to exclude from this value? Right? මේ period එකට මේ January මාසෙ include වෙන්නේ නැහැ. February ඉඳන් March වෙනකන්. January කලින් වෙච්ච දෙයක්. එතකොට මාස දෙකක amount එක අපිට capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන්. It means what should be the amount at 20%, right? 2 over 2. This much, right? What about here? On 1st of July 2017, we have utilized 2 million. 1st of July 2017 වල තව 2 million utilize කරලා තියෙනවා, right? So are we supposed to capitalize this? No. Why? We have already completed our construction activities on 31st March 2017. මෙදාවෙදී construction activities ඉවරයි. එදායින් පස්සේ, right, අපි මේ ගත්ත loan expense කරා කියලා ඒවට අදාළ borrowing cost අපිට capitalize කරන්න. So what is the total amount there? එතන total amount එක කීය දෙන්නේ? What is the total amount here? Here it is 0, right? So what is the total amount? 500,000. But here it says we have invest, right? Was able to earn interest income of 100,000 having deposited this loan for the period of 2 months from 1st of June to 31st July, right? From 1st of June to 31st July. මාස දෙකක අපි invest කරලා අපි interest income එකක් හොයලා තියෙනවා මෙච්චරක, right? 100,000. If we have earned by investing the loans we have obtained, right, and earn some interest income, such interest income we need to deduct, or we need to exclude when calculating the borrowing costs that can be capitalized. We need to deduct this 100,000. Therefore, what should be the amount that can be capitalized as borrowing cost? It should be 400,000, right? So 400,000 should be the borrowing cost to be capitalized. Interest income එකක් තිබ්බොතින් ඒක buying වෙලා ඉතුරු amount එක තමයි අපිට capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන් amount එක වෙන්නේ. So the final amount should be 400,000. So in part C වල what should be the answer? Part C මොකක්ද දාන්නේ? Interest expense to be charged to income statement for the year ended 31st March 2017, right? Interest expense to be charged to income statement for the year ended 2017. So what is the total loan amount? Total loan amount we have obtained is 10 million. Right? This is the total loan amount we have obtained. 10 million. Right. What is the interest rate? Interest rate is, we have calculated the weighted average rate, that is 20%. Therefore, what is the total interest amount? Total interest amount should be 10 million into 20%, 2 million. This is the total interest amount, right? So out of that, we can capitalize the borrowing cost worth of 4 million. Right? බැංකුව වලට ගෙවන්න ඕන interest amount එක 2 million. Right? Out of that 4 million we can capitalize. It means, right, the interest expense to be charged to the P&L. P&L එකට charge කරන්න ඕන interest expense එක වෙන්නේ, right? What? The remaining amount, 1.6 million rupees. Right? 1.6 million rupees. Okay, so here when we have obtained the loan, අපි loan එක obtain කරන්නේ කවද්ද? On 1st of June 2016. Therefore, we cannot consider the total, right? Total amount here. 2 million කියලා කියන්නේ අවුරුද්දටමනේ. අපිට අවුරුද්දටම ගන්න බෑ. Why? We have obtained this loan on this date, 1st of June 2016. Therefore, we can consider only 10 months. Right? The amount applicable for 10 months. This amount, 1.6 million. Right? So out of that 4 million we can capitalize, or we have to capitalize, and the remaining amount we can charge to P&L, 1,266,667. Okay, so this is how we can work out these questions, right, with respect to LKAS 23. So I will upload these, right, these answers to your Google Classroom. And if you go through some of the other past paper questions also, other past papers also, you can find the same type of questions, right? So attempt those ones, right? As I told previously, this is a frequently tested area in your exams for around 10 to 12 marks, right? It is not that difficult, right? It is not only from calculations, right? You need to familiar with some of the theory parts as well, right, when you're preparing for the exams. Okay, so with that, shall we stop? Right, borrowing cost. මොනවහරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවද? Right, okay, so we will stop from here, right?